Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, another question on the border. Why hasn't the Vice President's root causes strategy made a bigger difference in lowering the number of people who've been apprehended at the border?
Well, look, the Vice President's, what she's been able to do is meet with leaders in the region and talk about how do we, to your point, the root causes, how do we deal with what's happening in those said countries, and offer up any support that we could offer up. But look, it's not just the Vice President here, or this President, or this administration. When it comes to immigration, it has been a problem that has existed for decades. For decades, this system has been broken way before this administration stepped in. So the President took this very seriously. The first day of his administration, he put forth policy ideas, legislation, in a comprehensive way to deal with this issue. And so now, I think what's really important, and we can't miss this, right? Now there is an actual conversation, negotiations happening in the Senate, in Congress, in a bipartisan way to figure out how to deal with border security. And I think that is the most important thing here, and we feel like it's going in the right direction.
Did that particular strategy, though, was it too narrow? Did it fail to anticipate
What strategy?
The root causes strategy?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Three countries when we know now that the migration's coming.
There's root causes. There's dealing with a broken system, which is why we put forth a immigration proposal that deals with policy and funding. And so now we're having those conversations in Congress, and I think that's really important, and that's what we're hoping. We're hoping that we can get to a place where we come into a bipartisan agreement, and that's going to be the focus. Okay.
Another question on the border. Can you sort of talk about how the president views humanitarian parole for asylum seekers? Does he believe that asylum seekers should be able to stay in this country until their cases are heard?
Look, I want to be, and I get the question, I just want to be super careful here because I don't want to get into what's being discussed in Congress. So I'm going to not say anything beyond what I have said. Is like there's negotiations happening. There's going to be different policy components that are going to come up. Obviously, they're going to come up with an agreement here that both Republicans and Democrats agree on the Senate side, and then we hope that we can really deal with this issue. I just want to be super, super mindful and not get into specifics and policies.
The basic principle of someone seeking asylum, does the president believe they should be able to if they have legitimate concerns?
Obviously, we've been very clear about that, but I just want to be super careful. I don't want to go into a rabbit hole about each policy and what the president supports or believes in, because there are negotiations happening.
And my last question, just Speaker Johnson says that he wants the border to be completed as one of his stipulations in this deal, or the border wall to be completed as one of his stipulations. What's the White House's response to that?
We're having a bipartisan conversation in the Senate about how we deal with border security. Going to leave it there and let the Republicans and Democrats who are actually coming to the table in good faith and have been doing that for months, which we appreciate, and we think it's headed in the right direction, we're going to let them have that conversation.